Today's talk is on the mindfulness of death. Okay, so just now we did mindfulness of breath. So there is also the mindfulness of death. Maran ke upar dhyan, being mindful of death. So are you ready to hear on the topic of death, or are you already afraid of the topic? So I hope you are not afraid. So this topic is very important topic in Buddha's teaching. Generally, we try to not talk about death, and especially if it is night, then you don't want to talk about it, right? Either you are afraid of it, or you think it is ashub, it is not a good omen, it is not a good thing, right? But still this topic is very important in Buddhism, and it is something that we all should talk about, reflect about, and also meditate upon. So here you did the meditation on breath, but it is also a topic, one of the topic. In fact, there are many different kinds of meditation for for different purposes as well as for general purposes. Let's say there is this meditation on loving kindness that is specifically useful for those who become hateful or angry or irritated very soon. For them, this meditation on loving kindness is a good antidote. Similarly, there are different kinds of meditation, and one being the meditation on death. The meditation on death is also quite a important meditation. So generally, of course, as I mentioned, breath meditation is the default meditation, the base meditation, in fact, the main meditation. But then you do some of this meditation, some other, apart from breath, you do other meditation to specifically deal with some of the issue that you go through. As I mentioned about anger or hatred, so therefore it is an important topic. And so today I selected this particular sutra called Mindfulness of Death, and in Pāli it is called Dutiya Marana Sati Sutta. So it is from Anguttara Nikaya. So I'll just a little bit read out for you. At one time, the Buddha was staying at Nadika in the brick house. There the Buddha addressed the monks, when mindfulness of death is developed and cultivated, it is very fruitful and beneficial. It culminates in the deathless and ends with the deathless. So Buddha was staying in Nadika, a small place in northern India near Patna. It was in the, I think, near Magadha, so North India. So Buddha is saying that you have to meditate on death to become deathless. Okay, so you meditate on death to become deathless, right? So which means to say that you achieve the deathlessness, which is what we call nirvana, bodhi, enlightenment, which is freedom from cyclic birth and death, samsara. So as we all know, even in Hinduism and in both Buddhism, we have something called samsara, where we are again and again subject to birth and death. But you are free from that, but then deathlessness is something, of course, if seems very far for us, and also it doesn't, maybe you don't really get it, right? What is nirvana? What is this deathless? I'm concerned about now, you know. In fact, Buddha in fact spoken this for the purpose of now also, you know. And one of the reason I chosen this topic for all of you is that I get to hear from many of you during my uh, interview or question answer session, is that a lot of people are afraid of death, or if not afraid of death, but they sometimes cannot properly handle or accept the death of someone else, especially those who are close to you, so those, especially those who are dear to you, beloved to you, you know. So that is one of the reason I chosen this topic, and you can, for all of you who sort of have this kind of feeling that that I may not be able to deal with someone else's death easily, or then I might have to start the death meditation very soon, you know. And death, of course, is something that is not a very bad topic, you know. In fact, we are all subject to death. Today we are here, but we are all going to die. You know, we know that, right? But we just know at the surface level, you know, it is not in depth, right? And though we know I will die, though we know someone else will die, but we suffer, you know, when someone else die who are beloved to you. So why we suffer? It's due to our attachment, you know, strong attachment. Attachment creates suffering. So our own people, beloved people, who are supposed to give us more and more happiness, can give us a strong unhappiness, a strong misery. You know, our own dear and beloved people who dies, who leave us, you know. So therefore, it is very important, of course, to have love. Buddha, in fact, Buddha has given one whole sutra called Karaniya Maitri Sutra, Metta Sutta, loving kindness sutra. Very popular. We chant almost every day. One of the most popular sutra that we chant. But at the same time, he said that it's very good to, it's very powerful. Love is very powerful. We should have among ourselves, with oneself, with the people, with the family, with the relatives, with everyone, including animals, with all the beings. But it's very easy for attachment to just creep in, you know. Attachment just happens very easily. So therefore, we need to develop love, you know, instead of attachment. We have to, every now and then, attachment comes in, we have to decrease it, and we have to create love. In the absence of attachment, love can happen, you know. With attachment, love cannot happen. And that's the reason many a time we get this complaint, or sort of, kind of complaint, I can call it, wherein, the children goes like this, saying, oh, my parent tries to control me, tries to, so much control my life, you know, no freedom, you know. And the parents say, it is out of my love I'm doing, you know. So this kind of problem happens because we somehow tend to become possessive, you know, and so much of attachment. So therefore, we need to decrease attachment. And in the absence of attachment, love can happen. Otherwise, love can turn very bad shape. You know, it can sometimes turn into hatred, turn into anger, you know, turn into enmity. And you may be knowing a lot of stories, you know, wherein how in the beginning they were in great love and everything, even parent or whatever, parent or, you know, other kind of relationship, but then it gets turned into hatred. So one of the reasons why we meditate is that we, the meditation goes like this, wherein you sit, of course, on a normal meditation posture, and you need to reflect. You need to just tell yourself that what Buddha is saying here. He's saying, I might die of many causes. A snake might bite me, or a scorpion or a centipede might sting me. And if I died from that, it would stop my practice, or I might stumble off a cliff, or get food poisoning, or suffer a disturbance of bile, flame, or piercing winds, or I might be attacked by human or non-humans. And if I died from that, it would stop my practice. Okay, then that mendicant. Okay, so Buddha is giving us the different possibility of death. So today there may not be snake, but there are cars, bikes, and those are the modern snakes through which you can meet death. So accident, of course, as we know, as they say, more people die every year than we had through COVID death, right? Around 5 lakh, something they say. So accident, all of us travel on the road, so we might die. So, or at least accident, or something can happen, or food poisoning, or this disease, that disease, this disease. We have so many cancers, this, that, and God knows, so many different kind of diseases. So you have to just tell yourself, it's like just telling yourself, just reflect, basically contemplation. It is called contemplation. So you tell yourself that I might die like this, like that, like this, all different or through different ways and means. Different factors, different conditions, you might die. Diseases is one of the things. As human, Buddha said, human, some enemy, they might kill you, they might, end your life. And non-human being, even animals, or these days we don't have much in the cities, but we have machines and AI and whatnot, can take your life away, So we hear about a lot of people dying, we see people dying, but then do we even think about our own life? We just forget. We are so busy. We have so many things that occupies our attention. One of the most powerful attraction, or say, who occupies our attention, is our mobile phone. So we are so much busy in that we forget everything. We forget so many things, right? So therefore you can do that. And especially if you have sometimes you have too much of attachment, and some of the people, they come and tell me, oh, I feel so much attached. I know, then again later on I suffer, still I get attached. This topic I keep on getting. So therefore I selected this talk today. So you have to do like that. And then after doing this with yourself, after reflecting with yourself, you can, please come sit. Yeah. Then you can then do the same, to the people who are close to you. Maybe your parent, maybe your partner, maybe someone like very close to you, your friend, everybody, in fact, within your close inner circle, what you call the close circle, or with whom you have a lot of attachment, or a lot of, say, if not attachment, even let's say if you don't have attachment, but still, you don't realize you have attachment till something happens to them. Maybe say someone you love, say they fall sick, so you feel that pain, right? So you might select some of those people who are within your inner circle, to whom you love a lot, to whom you have a lot of rely upon them, and you love them so much. So you bring in their face into your mind, and then reflect the same, that he or she may die of many causes. A snake might bite me, or scorpion or centipede might sting. And if I died from that, it would stop my practice, or I might stumble off a cliff, or get food poisoning, or suffer of disturbance of bile, flame, or piercing winds, or I might be, or he or she might be attacked by human or non-human. So something like that. Basically, you make friend with the death, right? You befriend yourself with the death. You don't see death as some enemy, and that's the reason a lot of people, they say that, oh, why to me, why it was taken, especially if the person was young, then it is even more painful. They say, why at that age it happened? Why God did this to me? And then they hate the God. They become atheists. I know some of my people who, earlier very religious, going to temple, doing this, doing that, all kinds of ritual, and then his wife died. She was young, not very old, and died, and then now he's totally kind of atheist, kind of not believing God, sort of thing. So in that kind of situation, what will come to your rescue is this practice of death, death, mindfulness of death. So why we should make death as something to hide, something to not talk to, something to stay far away, something. You're not saying may I die, you're saying I might die. So there's a difference between I might die or may I die. So you're not saying that, right? You're not saying that this person should die, that person should die. In fact, you should not say to your enemy also, because that's not good. But you can, bring in that. And if you meditate on this on a frequent basis, in fact, if possible, on a daily basis, this one meditation, then this will be of great help. As Buddha said, when mindfulness death is developed and cultivated, it is very fruitful and beneficial. It culminates in deathless and ends with deathless. So you become deathless, which means to say that you are not fear of death. You don't become sad if someone dies, if someone leaves you, because you already knew it, and you knew it through your meditation and your inner heart, your deep mind or deep being of yourself knows it. The voice has gone that deep, that you are aware. But if you just say, oh yeah, everybody will die, it's fine, no, it might not help you, because I've seen many people, they, especially where there is strong love, whether it is parent or children or couples or friend or brother, sister, a lot of people, they can't handle death, someone else's death, and they feel very bad. And it just disturb. It can sometimes be very disturbing experience, and kind of alter their life, their stability of their life. So this is a meditation that all of you must do, not only just to face someone dear's passing away or death, but even in general, it can be of great help. It can help you to be, in fact, to appreciate your own time, appreciate your human life, appreciate the time that you have, appreciate them, all the things, the opportunity, the people, in fact, you will, the people whom you love, you will love more, right? You will not be attached, you will be loving them, because it is when you think that this person is there, that you start sometime taking for granted or becoming more attached, so therefore it is that feeling, that it is that understanding. Basically it is understanding, because it's the reality. We all know that death is the reality. Death, we all know, is reality, but then when it actually happens, we suffer, we are disturbed. So therefore this understanding can deepen more and more as we meditate more and more. And as I said, it's not just to be strong when someone beloved dies, but even we appreciate our life more and more, human life, our time, people. One of the reasons sometimes people become little bit careless about life is because we are not thinking about death. Just you see, sometime when someone is going to die, and the doctor predicts or declares that this person is going to live only for 1 month or 6 months, then you see how much you have, the person will value each moment more and more, right? Everybody also love that person more and more. They forget his or her mistake, that person's mistake. They just ignore everything. They just love, they just give the full time and full happiness and everything. Why? Because the doctor has now told, the doctor has declared. But why we should wait for the doctor to tell us when we are going to die? Why should some astrologer should tell us when we are going to die? Why do we need to do that? So we can actually bring in that, and this will not make, don't have this thing that, oh, if I meditate on death, I might die soon or someone else might die soon. No, it's not going to happen, because you're not wishing, you're just saying may happen. I mean it is going to happen anyway, but you are bringing that thought into your mind, so that a lot of those attachment, anger, jealousy, and restlessness, and all those things can drop down. Especially anger, jealousy, and say all those attachment can just go down, will just dissolve, and you will be much more happier and peaceful and joyful. So this is what Buddha said. So Buddha gives an example here, one kind of simile. So what he says, that the example is of somebody who is, say, suppose there is a fire, fire on your body or your head or somewhere. You will try to, put it down, put it off. So Buddha is saying that in the same way, all these qualities of anger, hatred, or attachment, these are like those fire that kind of burns our life, that kind of makes our life miserable. So whenever you see people talking about being not happy, being miserable, being all these things, because all these negative qualities are there. So in the same way, you have to remove them. So one of the way of removing them is also death. So which means that death can also help us to remove some of the negativity that we have within our mind. So these are the two different benefits, and it's a very, very beneficial topic, meditation, that all of you can do, or especially those who feel like doing, they can do. But if you are very uncomfortable and being fearful, then it's better not to do. But if you are okay, if you are like, if you don't find it very difficult, then of course you can do. Okay, so I think we conclude our talk today here. mindfulness of death. And I hope all of you can practice on this, meditate on this, and get a lot of benefit out of this, and be able to keep a very peaceful and kind and gentle kind of mind. And so I wish all of you good health, happiness, and peace and joy. And now let us also wish the happiness of all the beings and conclude the program. Sukhi bhaveyang nidukho ahang nichang ahang viya hitacha me sukhe honto majjata jataverino imam hi gamakhetam hi tatta honto sukhe sada tato parancha Chakkavale sujantano sadhu sadhu sadhu.